second or third piece we ever wrote was every Doge has its day. And I know we write about what's in the news, so I don't want to keep saying like, oh, we've written about that, but we've written about that. And when our take on it was, we spent a lot of time thinking about what was it like to be in Weimar during hyperinflation. What were the people thinking? The boiled frogs, as we would call it. Like, how could they not know? And we see all these things around us, and I wonder, like, what does this mean that Dogecoin is got 100 billion market cap, if market cap is even the proper way to express it? People are expressing, I believe. So, like, again, just because I don't understand it doesn't mean it's not important. It doesn't mean that I shouldn't try to understand what the signal is telling me. So people have such indignation that Dimitri Kofinas of Hidden Forces is another podcast host.
He's great.
He's labeled this market nihilism, where you know what you're investing in is worthless, but you do it because it's worthless, and you assume someone else will just buy it from you. So I think there's an important signal from these market extravagance that, we as value investors, the Austrian School of Economics, believe me, like we like to say here, we earn in fiat, we save by buying real assets, and we invest privately where we can affect the outcome. I don't trust any of it. I could never buy that coin. If you told me this coin has an 80% chance of tripling tomorrow, I don't even know I could pull the trigger, because I can't buy it. It doesn't compute with me. But there's a whole army of people for whom all they need is another fool, and there's plenty of fools. Well, what does that signal? That signal could mean the market is expressing that the currency will soon be worthless. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that's what the symbol means, but what that signal means. But it's one possible outcome. They have such little regard for either the currency or their hopes in the future to generate more, that they YOLO trade into the next hot thing, knowing that it's worthless, but assuming they can get out, or this is their very best chance to make it. Back to your 100 people in your workshop, maybe this is their workshop. Like, I can YOLO trade and I got a chance. It's like a scratch lottery ticket. And it's mind-blowing to me. I could never invest in it. I would separate sort of the technology of crypto from the speculation of the tokens, because I think they're actually two very different things.
Yeah. And I separate Bitcoin. When I talk about crypto and Doge, I'm not talking about Bitcoin.
We're just talking about raw speculation, tulip style. And it's one of the things we write a lot about. What we worry about with inflation is for the first time ever, we have this integration of wildly uncontrolled social media that injects a level of fervor into all of these events that has never been experienced before. And one of the things we worry about is if inflation is driven by inflation expectations, that same social media fervor could be whipped up about inflation by people who don't like us, because social media can be manipulated, as we know. And inflation expectations could be manipulated by, take your favorite foreign actors that don't like us. And, one of the things we write about is when the first Big Mac, the first $20 Big Mac goes viral on TikTok, does that not contribute to inflation expectations? And could the social media part of this new game, which I guarantee you the Fed has no ability to model, let alone understand or know that it even exists. If Doge could be worth what it's worth, or Shiba, the derivative of Doge, could be worth what it's worth, that's just proof that people could be manipulated into thinking something on a vast scale that matters. And so
that they have to go so far out the risk curve to maintain or increase their purchasing power relative to the rate of inflation.
And that's a self-enforcing loop. So if the perceived rate of inflation, nothing drives inflation like inflation expectations. If you think the price of bread is going up 25% tomorrow, you're going to buy 5 loaves tomorrow.
Right.
And my point is, and the point we write about, and our point as a team is, this is the first inflationary spike in the history of humankind where social media exists and can proliferate this on a scale and a speed that is unimaginable. So chart after chart, what are you seeing? We're seeing chart after chart. It's just weird. It just happened, like Avis car rental this week went totally parabolic, right? I'm sure you saw it. It went up from $170 to $550 a share. It closed much lower than that. When we see a GameStop or an AMC or Dogecoin, or pick your favorite, whatever the mania is of the day, we see the speed with which crowds can be mobilized, convinced of something, and induced to act. And what happens when they get mobilized and induced to act on their inflation expectations. So either this is an indirect signal or proof of the direct ability to control it. And the people that control social media today aren't necessarily our friends.